Hello, everyone. It's Crystal Hill here, independent publisher and founder of Hill House Publishing. And I'm just so excited to be here with you today at Hill House Publishing. We share the stories and the wisdom and the tools of the way showers, the wisdom keepers, the coaches and consultants who are here to make a difference, who really care about the quality of life, self-actualization. And so we have just, oops, what's going on? Carmen dropped off. There you are, you're back. So today I'm with the authors of Beyond Certainty, which has just launched on Amazon, and we're already a hot new release. So that's exciting. So welcome everyone here. Thank you for coming on to sharing your wisdom and a little bit about what you've contributed to this book that I believe will become quite significant in the lives of many people who are facing uncertainty. So let's go around the room here and just share a little bit who you are and just who you are and what you're doing in the world. Sadie, let's go and start with you.
Okay, cool. So can you hear me?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, good. I don't need to unmute. Hi, my name is Sadie Best. I am an energy healer, medicine woman, and founder of Healing Sacred Feminine. And I am super passionate about supporting men and women to embrace a healthier sexuality, and so that they can engage in healthier relationships, not only with others, but with themselves, finding the beloved within themselves. So I'm so grateful to be here. What an exciting day, everybody. Yay.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Walter, let's go over to you. Share with us.
My name's Walter Bellin. I run programs that teach people an effortless form of meditation that's profoundly relaxing and profoundly rejuvenating. And we also do inner growth work. So I help people get insight and understanding and to be able to release the self-imposed limitations that they've created in their own life because of experiences they've had going through childhood and adolescence, where we often have painful emotional experiences that then create a certain way of looking at ourselves and looking at the world that has a lot of built-in limitations. So my job is to help people transform out of that conditioned mindset and become their true self, to open up to the deepest part of themselves, which is their spiritual self, and make that manifest fully in their world. And I do that both for courses that we teach and through individual coaching, and also working in corporations to do leadership development programs and cultural change programs in large organizations, government agencies, and companies. That's my background.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Wonderful. Such important work. Carmen, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Carmen Benton. I am a retired corporate executive who had to take a jump into the unknown to be able to follow her life purpose. And that's one of the things I do. But I also help overachievers be able to break the burnout cycle and find balance, because that's what I had to do in my life. I am so happy to be part of this book because it really has giving me an avenue to share with the world the steps that I had to take to be able to live a very lucrative career in corporate America and follow my passion and really pursue happiness. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, your chapter, and I was mentioning on my social media, you channeled that in the plane. It's all just kind of came through you in one big hit. Yes. And it really shows, because it's such a beautiful flowing chapter. So thank you. Jackie, introduce yourself, share who you are and what you're doing in the world.
Okay, well, I'm Jackie Penny. My leap to uncertainty was away from security and fear, and that ruled my life for much of my existence until about 13 years ago. And I decided I was going to make a change. I went through an experience where an illness made me, an illness or an event made me look at my life and realize I was living in fear, and I needed to live from a different place if I was going to keep living. Otherwise, there wasn't much hope for me, and I knew that. So I made that decision to change within me. It was a very much, I knew that if I didn't change, if I didn't let go of that security blanket of fear, which I thought was my security blanket mistakenly, that I wouldn't be here now. And I feel much freer having done that, having moved through that pathway over those 13 years of transitions and being led to different teachers like Walter, being one of them. I'm proud to say. Yeah, and many other teachers that just on the path that have pointed the way in the direction. So I wanted to share my story.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, and your chapter again is you sharing that pivotal moment in your life that really helped you make that shift and helped you wake up to who you truly are and what you're now to do. And I think that this perception that we think we have a security blanket and we think we're doing the right thing, and then we realize down the track that was actually conditioning. I think that is so common, and so a lot of people and readers will resonate with you on that journey, and you're describing it so beautiful in your chapter. So yeah, everybody, if you haven't already, the link here to purchase the book is right across the screen. I've got lots of beeping going on, which I always see as a sign, as like an exclamation mark of whatever the person is saying that is talking in that moment. So we'll just we just ignore them and be with them. Alison, welcome. Congratulations. Share with us who you are and what you do in the world.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Alison Horn. I am a naturopath and also a creatrix transformologist from Gold Coast, Queensland. And my journey came at a time when I was really in the crux of change and uncertainty and moving from one place in my life to another. And through that has been a huge amount of healing deep in the subconscious. As an adoptee myself, my passion is really to be an advocate and a voice for other adoptees in understanding our journey and how that can have different effects and different levels. And that subtle little dance between the subconscious and the conscious, and how that is actually deeply entwined in our physical health. So as a naturopath, always frustrated with, how come you can't just throw pills and potions and somebody heal? There's also the other part of healing that we have to start with, I believe, and that's the heart. So that's my journey for myself. And the last 3 years have been a very huge journey for, I think, everyone in the world, and finding your own voice and your own path. Through that time, I was just very, very fortunate to have come across a method in Creatrix to not only save my own heart, and now it's that's how I want to integrate and help heal others who are ready to take that step and to understand that no matter where you are, no matter how you feel, there is possibility, there's hope, and you can take control, heal yourself, and to really feel that authentically and being able to step into who you are. That's why I call it away from behind the mask of who you think you are meant to be, into really feeling who you are here. Is just so different to wearing that persona. So that's my journey, and it's just so excited to be part of this, and the healing that this has even brought for me on the journey. So thank you.
Yeah, you're mentioning the healing that it's brought on the journey. I think this is, everybody here has their own story of how when we're committing to writing about our journey, how healing that can be, and how much it can propel us into even greater clarity in who we are. I want to talk about the actual theme of the book, just dive a little bit deeper into it and hear from you. When I kind of downloaded this title, Beyond Certainty, it was really an answer to the crisis the world is in, and the transition that we find ourselves in as a global globally in all areas of life, and more and more people being asked to leave the perceived safety behind in order to fully actualize who they are. And if we're not listening to it, we're being forced into it. So that's just the background upon which this book has been created, to provide hope and inspiration. So I'm curious to hear from all of you why embracing uncertainty in these times is so important, and what has helped you to do that. And I want to start with Walter again.
Okay. So I initially was looking for my security in an academic career when I woke up. This was in the 1960s. I'm 86 years old. So this was in the 1960s, where I was working on a PhD in philosophy at the University of California, Berkeley. And I heard Martin Luther King give a speech. I actually heard him in person, and it had such an impact on me. This was 1965, that I started putting in a lot of time, like 60 hours a week, for the African American civil rights movement, as well as working on my PhD and teaching philosophy as well. And what happened is I fried myself. I burnt myself out. I was working 110-hour weeks. And finally, sometime around the middle of about April of this would have been 1968, I had to drop out of everything. I had to leave my PhD program. I had to leave the civil rights movement. I was fried. I was on welfare and I couldn't do anything. And that's when someone introduced me to meditation. I tried a difficult form first, and eventually learned that meditation is actually absolutely effortless, and that it pays off right away. But the idea was very simple. Once I realized the impact of what I was doing, it made me really question, do I really want to have a traditional career, go through all that usual stuff, get my PhD, become an assistant professor, and then associate professor, and all that kind of stuff, which would have given me, all the self-esteem and all the security and that kind of stuff. And I suddenly realized that meant absolutely nothing to me, that what I was discovering within myself through meditation gave me a powerful sense of security that came directly from within me, within my center. And that's what I wanted to transmit to other people as well. So then I realized that my real life purpose was actually built around that, not just putting ideas in people's head, which I would have done if I had gone on to become a professor of philosophy. And that's what I spent my whole life doing. I haven't worked a day in my life since 1971, because what I do isn't work. It's my purpose. I love it. And I'm proud to say I haven't worked for my life since 1971.
And it shows, Walter. It shows. You don't look 86. I can tell you that now.
So how do you help people navigate the uncertainty in their lives? Obviously, it is through meditation, but is there one specific tip or tool or thought or mantra that you can pass on to somebody who's facing uncertainty right now?
Yeah. People have to look at the issue of meaning and purpose in their life. And if you actually look at that honesty, really honestly, if you're really true to yourself in looking at that, you'll realize that your purpose can manifest itself in many ways. But the more you depend on things externally in order to manifest that purpose, the less powerful you will be in manifesting that purpose. So one of the things I had to learn, all that work we were doing in the civil rights movement and trying to win equal rights for African Americans, I hadn't realized that you cannot go out there and try to introduce a social transformation without first transforming yourself. It has to start from within you. So basically, I would always get people on the path of meditating, because that's where they would find that internal strength. But then to focus very strongly on the issue of meaning and purpose. Meaning in your life will only come through fulfilling a purpose that is much larger than you. It includes you, but it's much larger than you. And the more you depend on external certainty and external structures in order to do that, the less effective you will be in doing that. And to the extent that we could get that across to people in our courses and workshops and so forth, that was the extent to which they could actually become truly free of the need for external certainty and for external things to make them feel comfortable. They didn't need the security blanket anymore. Okay.
I love that. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
so well said. Thank you. Carmen, what about you? Why is embracing uncertainty so important at these times, and how do you do it?
Yeah, I just love what Walter said, because that is kind of my path, right? So I, an overachiever who had a codependent relationship with certainty, and yet people think that I did very hard or scary things, but I didn't, because everything I did before in my life, I already had full control over it, right? So sure, I moved countries. I came to the US when I was 23. But I had a plan. If it didn't work out, I went back. Work, I made it all the way to the corner office by the age of 40. First Latina vice president in a telecommunication company. But it was easy because it was easy for me because I had a plan. It was very certain for me. What wasn't certain was to get in touch with my intuition, because I was never allowed, not taught, how to have that connection between your mind, your heart, and your soul. And even though my soul has been screaming at me for years, like, please listen, right? I was like, no, I am not supposed to look that way, because I'm supposed to be a good girl and work hard and make money and have all the accolades and all that. And so it was really killing me slowly, like the song says, right? Like I had everything that everyone wants to have in paper, and I never been so unhappy in my life. And so I had to do something, because it wasn't worth living. I didn't have severe depression or suicidal thoughts, but I was really, really unhappy. And it was that introspective, looking inside of me and really solidifying that connection with myself, with my intuition, and stop looking for validation outside of me and start finding that validation within me by liking who I was and loving myself and learning to discern, the things that made me happy, that I started moving into this path to uncertainty. And definitely meditation was one of the very first thing I did. So
Yes, and in your chapter, you're talking people through this. I think there's 6 questions that you've developed that they can, as some sort of a crutch. If we do need certainty in the uncertainty and make that leap, at least we can take some crutches along with us. And you've created some powerful questions that will help
and
them
that's
do that.
because I am a left brain person. I have 2 engineering degrees and an MBA. And, my left brain is always thinking. So as I was making this transition to woo land, where we all live happily ever after now, I needed to have crutches, to not totally jump into the, abyssum of possibilities. And I think people can use that structure to ease themselves into, finding what's in the other side, which we all know is wonderful.
Yes, exactly. Sadie, let's move over to you. Why is embracing the uncertainty of life so important in these times, and what tools can you share?
Yeah, just going along with what other people are sharing. The more we dig in and try to hold on, the more suffering we bring for ourselves. We're meant to flow and release and be more heart-based. And a lot of these structures that we're clinging to, they're just not really supportive on a deep level. They're what we've been told we're supposed to want. And like others have shared here, it ends up being empty. We put so much effort into achieving what we've been told we're supposed to achieve, and we get those things, and it's not it. So in these times of uncertainty right now, when a lot is being taken away and removed, a lot of the systems are crumbling. And when I say systems, it's not just external systems, it's our own internal systems that are crumbling. Our belief systems, we're starting to question them a lot more. And as they're, kind of, as they're challenging us to look at them more deeply, like, where did we get these belief systems? Are they really working for us? Is this actually supporting me? Am I happy? Do I feel fulfilled? Do I feel nourished? Is my heart singing? Am I excited about life? Am I engaged in nourishing, fulfilling connections, passionate connections? Do I feel passion for my life? So we're really questioning a lot of these things right now. And yeah, those systems, external and internal, because our external world matches our internal world. So as it's all up for question right now. And trying to cling and hold on to the old way is only going to cause more suffering. It's a lot of resistance. The more we can let go and face this uncertainty, which we don't need to know how to do it. Just try to let go. Try to notice when you are holding on and when you're really attached, and try to go into that. And why am I so attached to this? And what we find, it's all fear-based. It's fear of not getting our needs met, of fear of something not happening, fear of upsetting somebody. It's fear, fear, fear. And what we want to do is come into our hearts and really try to come from a place of love. And I know a lot of us are so disconnected from our hearts that we don't even know how to do that, really. So basically, it's a lot of questioning, a lot of soul searching, a lot of looking at the motivation behind why you're making certain decisions. Why do I need to hold on to this so much? Is it because I truly love it and it really lights me up and my soul is singing? Or is it because I'm scared? I'm scared to let go. I'm afraid of what's going to happen. And if it's fear-based, we need to move beyond that. We need to let go of that. And that doesn't mean we don't have to know how to move forward, but just try not to hold on to it so tightly. So that's, and I am doing that on these layers that are so nuanced and complex, because the belief systems are so complex, and we've just taken so much at face value, and questioning absolutely everything is it's a bit of work, and it can be exhausting, but it's really freeing when we let go. And sometimes I find myself just sitting and doing absolutely nothing, because I know that what I'm doing, the action I'm taking, is motivated by fear of not getting something, of something not happening, of my dreams not coming true, of upsetting somebody. Again, it's fear. So if I'm moving from a place of fear, I just stop. I catch myself and I'm like, okay, I don't know how to move forward, but I know it's not that. I'm not going to do fear-based action anymore. And sometimes that means I do absolutely nothing. So that's my tip and tool. Really, really, really look into yourself and look at why you're making certain choices. How are you moving forward? Is it from love, passion, and inspiration, or is it from fear? Fear. Yeah.
Very well said. And I picked up on something that you said. We don't have to know where we're going. We just have to stop holding on so tightly. And I think that's really, really important.
Yeah, the universe has totally got us. There is so much available to us. We've been told this one certain thing, these certain things, so we've clung on to theirs. But there's endless possibilities that we can't even imagine. And so if we let go, and the more we let go of even having a direction, the more the universe will come in and make our lives amazing, miraculous, and magical. Yes, it's a very exciting time we're in right now.
Absolutely. Yes, it is scary and exciting, and we can choose which side of the coin, which side of, we want to put our focus on. Beautiful. Jackie, same question. Why is embracing uncertainty so important at this time, and what is your sort of tip around that?
Well, I'll second Sadie's like that. your punctuation there. I think we're at a time of crisis for a lot of people. There's opioid crisis, suicides are on the rise. People are just disillusioned. The world, everybody's searching for something and they don't know what. And like Walter said, like a lot of you said, it's external validation and external crutches or external anything. I used to, even blueberries, I would overload on blueberries. So ridiculous. The silliest things you can use as a crutch. And you just really need to, I found through myself, I did a lot of looking, introspective work before I came across Walter, and also Alan Cohen. And but I did a lot of introspective work that was spiritually based. With Walter, I found that, sorry if I can talk about Walter again.
You'll make more people come into his meditations if you do that. So go ahead.
we talked about last night, didn't we, Walter? It's very much about when you look at your past and the patterns you have, and when you actually, it's so clear, it seems so clear once it's laid out and the right questions are asked. And it doesn't have to be hard. It's actually quite straightforward, and it would have saved me a lot of soul searching if I'd joined your workshop a little sooner, Walter. But yes, I think spiritually for me, I found patterns in my own, cyclical patterns, and I think, but we need it. There's too many suicides. I know people who have committed suicide that it's a waste of, and depression, and people are miserable. When I walk down the street and I see people's faces and it's sad, I connect to them and I smile, and just that simple act of a smile can do so much, and they automatically smile back because it's natural, isn't it, to smile back? And that makes me feel good. And little things like that we can do every day. Doesn't have to be a big thing. Small little steps every single day, I think, are the key, and that's what's been key for me. But I think, and just noticing the sunshine, noticing the sunshine and being in awe when you look outside the window and you see the sea, or you see a bird or a tree. Those are the things that life's about, aren't they? And connecting with people. And once we release that fear, we can connect with others. And I think connection is thriving, and we can't thrive without connecting on a deep level with people.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jackie. Yeah, connection is definitely brings us back into our heart, doesn't it? And from that heart, we can then make the decisions that are love-based and not fear-based, as Sadie was saying. Thank you.
We don't need anything else. We don't need any external validation. We're happy as we are. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Alison, why is embracing uncertainty so important at these times of change, and how are you doing that in your life?
So for me personally, with going through my healing of my adoption journey, right at the time, literally everything hit the wall in 2020. So it was quite a combination of a lot of things all coming together for me at a time. And while I was doing that healing, being able to step into my own true, authentic voice, and then at that time having external trying to close that voice down, because in the previous life for myself as a naturopath before, and what led me on that journey was my eldest son's health. And let's say that sort of opened up 28 years later, where we are now. That discussion of mine and that reason why I went on that health healing journey to start with was all of a sudden I couldn't talk about that. I couldn't express my own concerns in health freedoms. So I was caught in a corporate world that was controlled as a franchisee business. So I was caught being responsible for my staff, my customers, seeing everyone go through all of this upheaval with everything at that time, doing my own healing into being able to stand into my own truth and say what I wanted to say. Oh man, it's been a very interesting few years. And in that I have just gone from strength to strength. And it is just so challenging on so many levels to see that battle and know that battle has been there. Uncertainty for me is really looking into an adoption journey that right from that day dot in conception, there was uncertainty of my future. My mother tried to commit suicide when she found out she was pregnant with me. That's how scared she was. And then to unravel that abandonment and rejection, it's not about me. This is what I think the whole epigenetics is just, it's a layer on top of a layer on top of a layer on top of a layer. And our generations are carrying the weight of all of this stuff. And it's breaking into that epigenetic physically and emotionally to help heal the future, instead of waiting for people to be drug addicts or going through this journey that we're trying to reverse things. It's adding that hope and knowing that when you break a woman's heart free, especially, you know, it's that we are the line of the future generations. And sorry, Walter, diving in.
Yes. No. Yes.
But that was my passion, and that's what I found. And I really connected and understood with Creatrix, because it's like unlocking that epigenetic and healing those wounds from the past. As we all know, it then opens the future to healing and future generations to have that heart sense they can then step into, deal with all of this, you know, stuff that's going on now with confidence and with heart-led, the right journey forward. And I think that is the future that's coming. And I'm very optimistic, and I really feel like we all probably do, that uncertainty is a certainty of greater things, of just change in the right direction. I think we're all living proof of that it's possible. So it's definitely got to be possible on a global level. So that's my little journey in the last 3 years.
What a beautiful, beautiful way to end our conversation, to say, yeah, yes, it is possible, and we are all living proof of it. Actually, we are. I wanted to keep this to 30 minutes, but I really feel like if there's any like one sentence that you would like to leave our viewers with around this topic of certainty, I'm happy for you to just share that right now. In the meantime, everybody listening, you know, please go and support these incredible humans to get their message out there. Share this podcast with people who you feel, you know, are finding themselves in uncertain times and need to make difficult decisions and just don't know where to turn. This book really, really holds so many stories of inspiration and that transformation that Alison was talking about. We are the living proof, and there are so many of us. And if we come together, we're creating a new narrative that is one of hope and inspiration. And so that's what this book is about.
There's a story for everybody, isn't there, I think, in this book?
There is. It's just
so you wanted one kind of little short statement. I really, really know this from my experience. So this isn't just a belief system, that the source of what we're looking for is always already there inside of us. It's really only a question of us discovering it, of us being able to see it, of us being able to experience it, because it's not something we're creating. It's always already there. Okay? and once we discover that, fear disappears. Fear is always based on two things: the fear that we can't make something happen that we want to make happen, or the fear that we can't prevent something from happening that we don't want to happen. Okay. And that fear has no place when you found that center within yourself that's always already there.
It's just continual goosebumps. Thank you, Walter. Beautifully said.
And I'm just going to add to that by saying that we came to this experience for expansion. And expansion can only happen outside of your comfort zone. That's where we grow. That's where we learn the lessons we came to learn. This is where we become better people, better souls, better human beings. And so we came here to tap into the uncertainty. And so it's time to do it now.
Yes.
It is.
I think building on what you both said, well, everybody said, if you're enough, if you feel like you're enough, and you are enough, like Walter said, and you accept yourself as you are, you can accept others. And then, as Carmen said, we're like mirrors of the universe, expanding, and our life is expanding. There's so many possibilities. There's no end. There's no limits. We can go and have an amazing life. It's up to us just to decide to, and to make that decision to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Beautiful.
Yes. And it all starts with a choice. Thank you,
Choice.
Jackie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think hope. I think a bit of faith and hope, and also sometimes just a little bit of patience, and with that trust, it can just change so much. I know so many times I was always like, I'm ready. What's going on? It wasn't the right timing, and it just to let go and trust in our greater purpose and mission and path, just like you've all said. Like, I think that is, for me, that was a huge thing too. It was just that trust, let go.
Yeah, that patience piece, right? That's huge. Patience and trust. Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Yeah, following up with that, I've just really been coming to understand how much we are here to have experiences. We're here to experience this beautiful world. We're here to experience ourselves, experience our own energies, experience each other. And it's not about the end result. It's not about that thing that you want. It's the journey, and it's really being, you were just saying, Allison, like being in the moment, coming into the moment and enjoying our experience here. We're very future focused, and we're very concerned about what's going to happen in the future. And we need to just be here in this moment. And really, again, I'm going to say, like, watching yourselves when you go into fear, when it's fear-based, try to come back into love, come back into this moment, and cultivate that feeling of love and that ability to follow your heart and the courage to do that, because it will not lead you astray. We have gotten too into our minds, and we've bypassed our hearts, and it's time to, we're reversing. It's coming back down, and that is scary. It is uncertain because we haven't really done that before, but it's highly rewarding and really gorgeous. The more you take the steps and you face that uncertainty and start coming into the heart, you start becoming very certain that it is the way to go, and it is the thing to trust. So thank you all so much. This is so inspiring. I love it.
Yeah, when we bring each other together, it's like the vibration just raises, and we inspire each other to go even further and deeper into our purpose work that we do. And it's all about community, right? This is what we've just talked about. We need to come together. So yeah, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you get a copy of the book. Each author has a free gift in there as well, so you can connect with them and engage with them more deeply in their modality and the gifts that they're bringing to the world. So thank you all so very much.